Start our presentation. A goiter is an enlarged thyroid. Genotype is the genetic constitution of an organism. Phenotype, observable characteristics. Pendrin, it is a protein and it passes ions from one electrolyte to another. And cochlea, a bony canal that runs from the vestibule to the inside of the skull. What is it? Pendrin syndrome is the inability to make the pendrin protein. It occurs on the genotype SLC26A4, and that is the most common of three, and it accounts for more than 99% of the diagnosis of it is in that gene.
It also causes hearing.
This is our
Okay, this is chromosome 7.
This is chromosome 7.
And this right here is the affected
SLC.
Yeah, it's SLC64.
It causes hearing loss in babies, and it accounts for 10% of the hearing loss. So basically, if out of all the people that are deaf, 10% of them are because of Pendrin syndrome.
These are some of the symptoms. We have hearing loss, a loss of balance, a goiter appears, which is in your thyroid, and babies start walking at a later time. Okay, this is how you can find out that you have it. You can do genetic blood testing or pichlorate washout test, which is to see if you have the hearing problems and if you need a hearing aid to fix it.
This is what a goiter is. These are the thyroid glands, and this is the thyroid. And whenever it gets enlarged, it gets called a goiter. And this is what it starts looking at.
It looks like a really big lump on your neck. It's pretty noticeable.
And some people don't get the goiter, and some people's hearing loss is worse than other people's. Some people don't even have much hearing loss.
Yeah, it's different for every patient.
Yeah.
This is the inheritance. It's autosomal recessive, and you must be homozygous of the recessive trait to inherit it.
This is our Punnett square. There's a 25% chance to get it from carrier parents. So that's the Punnett square I'm going to do. This is a carrier mom, and this would be a carrier dad. And then if you cross them, that would be unaffected. These two would be carriers, and this would be the only child with the Pendrin syndrome.
Okay, so if it's autosomal recessive, there would be one child that wouldn't be affected at all, so they'd have an AA. Can you guys see?
I got it.
Okay. There would be one child that is not affected at all. One would be a carrier of it. One would be completely affected, and then another would be half affected. I mean, the carrier. These are some of our treatment options. You can get a hearing aid or a cochlear implant, which is this thing right here. Okay, it's like a hearing aid, except you get this implanted into your head. It's kind of like they put the magnet inside your head, and then on the outside it's magnetic, and it catches signals and sounds of the outside environment, so you can hear it, kind of like a microphone. Or you can learn sign language if you're deaf. And you have to get your goiter checked regularly.
Wait, when we thought of 23andMe, we thought of it as a whole, and I listed some of the pros and cons. These are the pros. You can get your DNA sequence much cheaper. You can get in-depth prescriptions on or diagnoses on what you might have. They can tell you what proper medications or why you might be like acting differently to certain medications. And you can find out if you're a carrier for diseases and make decisions of like whether or not to have a child or stuff like that. And then some of the cons of 23andMe is it's not 100% accurate, which is possibly why the FDA isn't like allowing you to do it. And it may cause like life-altering decisions, like if you find out you're a carrier for something, you might not have children when you're actually not, if it's not 100% accurate. And then also, if you change your medications without consulting a doctor, that can be dangerous. And it's like the most insecure thing you can do because like it's your privacy is your DNA, and if they have your DNA, how secure is it really? Because they're saying like they will use your DNA to predict future generations and stuff. As far as it goes with Pendred, it's capable of testing for Pendred and is accurate on that because it's a genetic disease and it's totally inherited by parents, and it's not affected by environmental factors very much, or at all, really.
Audience, any questions for them?
London.
Was your pedigree like a definite thing that would happen to your parents?
No, technically, like they could have 4 children that have, but no, that don't have Pendred.
Someone else have a Tylisha.
It's not a question, but can you say that DNA thing you said to me? When you know you was like, well, about the insecure part, and I didn't catch on. No, the other one. No, you don't have to reset all of it. Like the last bullet.
Like, how secure is it really? Like, your DNA is like the basis of what you're made out of, and so that's like as private as you can get. Like, that's who you are, like to the cell. It's like down to the last bit of who you are.
And then
It's as private as
You don't get your goiter checked, will it like choke you or something?
I mean, you could die if you don't get it checked regularly. Something might happen wrong that shouldn't be going on. Dang.
Like
Can you get it removed? Like the lump?
you could get it removed. Like it's not really necessary to get it removed unless you don't like want a lump.
I
in
don't.
your
I
head.
wouldn't like
Yeah.
it. I mean,
And it like your daily life would like go on.
And didn't you say too, sometimes it's not noticeable?
Yeah. Like some people don't develop it. Well, don't
Yeah,
develop
some
like in
things
March.
aren't like that big.
That lady.
I have one question.
Sneaky.
Okay, so you guys showed us the chromosome, so it's chromosome 7.
Yes.
It should wear the chromosome the mutation does. Would we be able to see that mutation on a karyotype? I didn't see a karyotype.
Oh yeah, it's the yellow colored one right here.
Would I be able to see this mutation on a karyotype?
No.
No. Seem very unsure. Anyway, wait. Okay, so the karyotype would look normal.
Stereotype would look normal.
Okay. Right. I just want to what's wrong with it.
Any more questions?
Okay, so since your last slide, specific to 23andMe was like specific to your disorder, with the 23andMe Pendred syndrome, is that, so this is what you guys are going with, right? So 23andMe